young women are girls: Mary, Annie, Catherine, Miriam, Christine.
Guys, gravity-swayed steps take on orbit.
We, in the tropics, balance in a basket on her head.
A blue wrap of sky.
She is the footprint of life.
The stars are mansions built by nature's hand.
The spirits of the blessed dwell here.
A habitation smartly planned.
The spirits of the blessed dwell there.
A habitation smartly planned.
For a life to occupy in love and rest, beats and color.
In numbers our young fingers can wrap around.
There is a freedom here.
One that hath no words, but rather long-form equations.
We hang on the edge of this universe, singing off-key and talking too loud.
Embracing ourselves to cushion the fall. We float above the possibilities of the clouds.
Imagining a time beyond this time where numbers plot the paths to man on moon.
Computations formed from bare hands. Possibilities unimagined.
Our fingers are the pulse. Futures waiting for
those that never looked like us.
It is not tragic. Something in us refuses to accept.
No.
We are driven,
Yes.
but not exceptional.
Like our mamas and their mama's mama.
Simply determined and willing to put in the work.
landing in the next galaxy with only our essence.
Embracing ourselves.
Scene 1, the magical universe.
When you're young, anything, everything, and nothing is possible all at the same time. You grow up imagining the what-ifs and if-onlys.
We are the dreamers.
In ways our parents couldn't, we can put men on the moon safely and shoot rockets in space in our mind's eye and return them back to Earth in a single millisecond.
Because that's just how quick our imaginations move.
Faster than the sonic compression of sound.
Growing up colored and
Female at times felt like,
being suffocated under a heavy cloud,
and other times like,
there was nothing richer in the whole world than our community.
nothing we couldn't master in here if we worked hard enough.
Speed is the key, okay?
Okay, ready, sixes?
Go.
6 times 6,
36.
Plus 6.
42.
Times 3.
126.
Plus 60.
186.
Plus 49.
235.
Times 4.
1410.
Correct.
Wow. Lights up on teacher and 5 computers in classroom.
Miriam, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am, I'm here.
Catherine Johnson.
Here,
Annie Easley.
Like the chipper blue jay awaiting the sunrise, I'm here.
Well, well, a poet.
Sometimes, ma'am.
Christine Darden.
That's Christine Darden with an E.
My apologies. Did I miss anyone?
Mary Jackson. I'm Mary Jackson.
Oh, yes, our newest student. My name is Miss Strand. Welcome, Mary, to Phoenix Training School, where our motto is knowledge. No more a fountain sealed.
Space has never been too far away, as close as numbers are to our fingertips and a straight edge ruler.
Maybe because sometimes we imagine ourselves there from the beginning. Is it magic or imagination or just plain dreaming?
Never ever imagined we couldn't exist it. This is how we always knew.
The 5 girls are in different spaces that represent their rooms.
Christine, I know what you're doing here while the others are sleeping. You're just a silly old dog. I can't even hear you. If I yelled in your ear, I bet you'd be able to hear that. La 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 la! Stop that! Cut it out! That biker dad gave you for Christmas took it apart, piece by piece. How do you know that? What I'm trying to figure out is how you put it back together without brand new, without instructions. I guess I just knew how to do this. Bet you somebody somewhere would pay you money to do that. I'll keep you if you promise to feed me.
drive across town tomorrow, back to White Sulphur Springs. Seriously, to live in two places, to keep driving back and forth every couple of weeks. Don't be ungrateful. They're doing it for you, so you can get good schooling. Don't remember being asked. You're not the parent. Besides, you get to eat your cousins. You get to see your cousins and eat your grandmother's sweet potato pie tomorrow.
Fair. Wake up, sleepyhead. No oversleeping this morning, Annie. What time is it? Time for grits and eggs. I'm sure Mom is cooking. She's already off to work, so you're up. And butter my toast, please. I don't have time. I'm late for school. But I'm hungry. You're a big girl. Boil the water, pour, and stir.
Can I go with you today, Miriam? You know the rules. Dolls stay at home, humans go to school. Who made the laws in this world? Dolls have rights too, you know. Okay, maybe just this once. You are a whiz with math, and literature, and science, and oddly, anything that deals with precipitation. Okay, I'll hide you in my bag, but promise to stay quiet. Not a peep. Look, my lips are sealed. Get it?
Big Grand plays her younger 7-year-old self with the doll in one corner, as young Mary does the same in another corner.
Welcome to school, little girl. Fancy having you here, just in time for the big test.
Should be a breeze for you, since they say you're something of a genius, child.
But I'll be the judge of that. Most girls like you know just enough. Just enough? Yes, just enough. I see. Stop asking questions and get to calculating. First question. What is the square root of 645 to 1 decimal place equal?
Oh, that's easy. 25.4. I believe you're off by 1.
Can't be. Can be. It's okay. Everyone makes mistakes. Calculate it again to find the slip-up. I did that. I started by finding a number whose square is the less than or equal to the first pair.
Did you square the 2 and bring down your digits? Sure I did. Then I thought, what single-digit number something could go on the empty line so that 40-something times something would be less than or equal to 245? 45 times 5 equals 225. So 5 works. Aha, I wrote 5 up top and I calculated.
But did you double the number above the line 25? Sure did. I thought what single-digit number could fit so that 520 times something would be less than or equal to 2,000? 3, right?
Wrong.
Okay, joking. You're right. I calculated 3 times 503, subtracted, and brought down my digits.
You lost me in the numbers, but somehow that's correct.
But did you remember to double 253? Yes, ma'am. So your answer, like I said in the beginning, is 25.5. My goodness, how did you?
Young Graham removes her wig, pulls an apron on, and exits. Girl puts doll away and hides under cover. Lights out. Mary's mother, Ella, places broomstick in closet. Ella, a little busybody, zips around the kitchen, putting away dishes and preparing breakfast while Big Grand steeps a cup of tea for herself.
Let her be, Ella. She's just in her pretend world, that's all.
That's the problem, Ma. Most of the time she's in that world, land of the unknown and unknowing.
Dreaming is a part of growing up. I remember you being the same way when you were a child.
When does the dream end and the child is in the land of now? There's too much going on Earth to be floating up into space so often.
Did you know that the star Sirius is the brightest star in the night sky?
Now there you go again. It's a wonder really where she gets it from.
It's remarkable, Ella, that this powerful star has the visual magnitude of -1.4.
Oh, please don't start and go doing that.
It's outshone only by a handful of planets. I taught you this when you were a baby. Our people's history, and the best part, most folks don't know about his companion. serious beat.
Discovered in 1826, 10,000 times dimmer than Sirius, but there.
You do remember.
You always go there, doing that.
Not doing, just naming. Reminding us what we refuse to remember. You know the Dogon people in West Africa first discovered that star, got their knowledge from the Namos, the divine, supernatural visitors to the earth who come from the stars and passed on star knowledge to their ancestors, the masters of water, the teachers. To this day, some believe these original visitors will return to earth from their place in the heavens in the form of a blue star. What if our Mary was able to discover that blue star or any other undiscovered star out there just waiting to be found?
A magical illustration appears of two dancing companion stars.
When they return, the teachers that day will be called the Day of the Fish.
The first sign of their return will be that of a new star, the star of the 10th moon.
An ultimate purpose, the Dogon people say, to maintain extraterrestrial collection by establishing sacred celestial sites throughout the world.
To prepare Earth for the day when the Earth and Sirius align.
Don't need elaborate storytelling to know she's special.
No need to make up history when it's right there in front of us. Seem like some are just born to know the secrets of the universe. Those thousands enslaved that escaped years ago didn't have maps to guide them north, Ella.
Of course they didn't. They relied on the coded spiritual.
And the stars, child! The gourd, leading them the way. The Little Dipper, holding the North Star at the end of its handle. When the sun comes back and the first quail calls, follow the drinking gourd, for the old man is waiting to carry you to freedom. Follow the drinking gourd. The riverbank makes a mighty fine road, dead trees to show you the way, and it's left foot, peg foot, traveling on. Follow the drinking gourd.
Just praying that those stars will point Frank back home safely.
Don't know why he went out so late on those back roads with all the racial hatred that's out there. I hear they lynched a man not too far from where he's traveling. Dear God, get Frank back home to us safely.
Mary enters. She is dressed for school.
Why wouldn't Daddy be safe? Where did he go this time?
To build a
mother's
school. Let me grab my jacket.
He didn't say anything about going to Alabama. Why wouldn't he tell me? And why take off in the middle of the night?
Mary, let's talk about this later. You don't want to be late in this first week at a new school, do you?
When is he coming back? And what did Gran mean about building a school? Is he in danger?
You know what that principal said, every student, even though we pay a tuition, is responsible for being punctual. Otherwise, you could lose your spot, and then what? Now eat your eggs.
I'm not hungry.
I'll walk you across Macon Avenue.
It's only a half a mile away, Grand. I'll be just fine.
No, let me do it.
Don't be silly. You have to finish baking all those cakes for the Johnsons before you leave for work.
Okay, don't be so stubborn. Let Big Grand walk with you.
Everyone! I'm not a kid anymore. I can do it. Besides, the girl at the end of the street, Miriam, is heading my way. We said we would walk together.
Scene 4, Dirt Road.
Thought you weren't coming, but figured it best that we wait. Pass the time finding patterns on the ground.
Sorry, things were strange at my house. You wouldn't understand.
I grew up with 2 brothers. Strange is something I strangely know a lot about.
You like quads?
Practical or universal?
Universal. I dream in music sometimes. Reminds me that everything is unified, you know? Learned it from my grandma. She'd been humming and singing to me since I was a baby. Started listening to melodies and found beats inside of them.
There's a pattern in everything. Just gotta find it.
Okay, see if you can find your way into this one. Boom, boom, bop, ba-da-dum, boom, boom, bop, ba-ka-ka, boom, ka-ka-ka. Boom, boom, bop, ba-da-dum, boom, boom, bop, ba-ka-ka, boom, ka-ka-ka.
Get out of the middle of the road, darkies! Can't teach a monkey to read. Go back to where you came from.
Attempting to move out of the way, Mary falls on the ground and dirties her outfit. Marion helps her up. The girls are physically shaken and scared. That has never happened to either of them. There is silence, and they begin to walk again.
When the sun comes back and the first quail calls, follow the drinking board. For the old man is waiting to carry you to freedom. Follow the drinking gourd. The riverbank makes a mighty fine road, dead trees to show you the way, and his left foot, pad foot, traveling on. Follow the drinking gourd.
Scene 5, Phoenix Training School.
So here we all are at the end of the first week of school. Typically a time when everyone gets comfortable, which can be a good thing, but in this case, and in my class, it's not. Does anyone know why? Miss Catherine Johnson?
Because education is an urgent thing for our people and to get where we need. We need to face learning with our eyes wide open.
In a roundabout way, that is correct, Miss Johnson. We have only so much time in the day. We have 2 very important exams each year, and they both prepare you for the next level and could qualify you for the Generation Excellence Space program at the university. And our job is to teach. Your job is to hopefully develop your learning in a way that allows you to do great things and inspire others in your community. There is no room, and I repeat, no room for silliness or wasting of anyone's time, especially mine. Are we clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Good. Are there any questions? Yes, Ms. Mary Jackson.
What about those that don't score highly the first time?
This is only one of many exams. There will be ample opportunity to show your intelligence. Some of you have already pre-tested, and I will be talking to you directly. Yes, Annie Easley.
Bell rings, students disperse.
Remember, spend your time studying. A committed student is a student who achieves.
School hallway. Mary, Marion, Christine are outside the classroom.
Mary, I'm Christine Darden, and here's Miriam.
We've already met, Christine.
Of course. Well, on Friday, we girls are going to the beach. Why don't you come and join us?
Oh, I don't know. I'm not a big swimmer.
We mostly sit around talking and eating. It's a lot of fun.
My mom prepares a big basket of food and sweets, so come hungry.
Yeah, Christine's mom spoils us.
I don't know. I might have to help my grand.
Oh, come on, live a little. We'll meet at 7 p.m. and stargaze at dark.
It'll be fun. Trust me.
Scene 6, Buzz.
Ready? Go.
Okay, the 4 and 6 and 7.
And go.
1, 2, 3, buzz. 5, 6, buzz, buzz. 9, 10, 11, buzz. 13, buzz. 15, buzz, buzz. 18, 19, buzz, buzz. 22, you're out.
Scene 7, Mary's room. Big Grand helps Mary with her homework. This is a ritual they both value, their time together.
I like my core teacher. She's firm. Kind of reminds me of Dad.
Must be handsome then.
Ew, Grand! Her name is Miss Strand.
Girls can be handsome too. Sweetheart, look at your old granny. This body might not work anymore, but how was a looker back in my day?
She says we will have lots of tests so we can prepare for the college one day.
Sounds about right.
Has anyone heard from Daddy? Will he be back soon?
Your father is a smart man, and he knows how to get back to us in one piece.
I wrote him a letter. Can you make sure he gets it, Grand? I figured out a way to help him. A mathematically smart way to build the schools faster using local wood and materials with smarter cutting dimensions. I've run the numbers in my head, and if he lets me come down there,
Slow down, child. I'll do my best to get this to him. The rest is between the two of you.
Thanks so much, Grand.
Scene 8, girls' room. Lights up on other girls in their rooms with dolls. As the girls continue to grow, they are discovering injustices and inconsistencies around them.
Why do girls have to wear dresses to school, but boys get to wear trousers?
Who determines which city gets to have a grade school?
Seems unfair if you ask me. All kids should be able to attend school if they want to.
Why do some of us have to drive miles just to get to schooling when others have 2 and 3 choices of school?
If my mother works harder and faster than Christine's mom, who barely works, why does she make so much less money?
Why do we have secondhand books when we are smarter than the average?
The dreaming montage continues.
What if
kids were in charge?
I'd imagine things different.
Very.
School buses were required to pick every kid up that enrolls in school.
Every kid would have a spot in school.
Parents would have to be honest.
About the past, which is our past. Even if it hurts.
We have a right to know, you know?
The truth.
We may not understand.
But yes, we have the right to know.
It's our past too. Scene 9, Mary's kitchen. Mother is baking again, preparing food for the family she works for. She's tired. Mary rushes in, grabs a muffin, and heads for the door.
Mary Jackson, you stop right there. Not even a hello?
Hello, Ma. Seemed to me you didn't want to talk. I keep asking about Daddy, but you just keep treating me like a child.
Mary, that's not it. I don't want you to worry about nothing.
I am worried. I can't help but worry. And who is Jim Crow?
Where did you hear about that, Mary Jackson?
One of the kids at school was talking about what he can do to black people that mess it up.
You listen to me. Jim Crow is not a person. It's an unfit law, is what it is. It says that our kind are not fit to drink from the same fountains, walk the same doorways, have the same protections as white folks. Even though those laws are there, you better know that you are just as good and smart as anyone else.
Can he get Daddy on the road? Is that why you don't want to tell me the truth?
Mary, no, your daddy will be home all right. We will be back soon from visiting family.
There you go again, Ma, protecting me from the truth. I know he's not with family. He's building schools for little colored kids like me in Alabama. Schools the white folks don't want built, because they don't want us educated. Why do you lie to me? I'm not a baby. Ugh!
Mary runs out frustrated. Outside Mary's house on the way to school, a note from Christine falls from her book.
See you at the beach. All of us girls will be there.
Scene 10, beach. 5 girls are now young women, 12 to 13 years. They lie on the beach, looking up at the sky. This is a ritual in sisterhood. Mary joins them after sunset.
Glad you can make it, Mary.
Better late than never. Spread your blanket down over here.
Oh, I didn't know to bring a blanket.
Silly girl. When going to the beach with friends, always pack your beach umbrella, bag, and slippers.
Take it easy, Christine.
What? Those are just basic things to know when socializing.
Honestly, I don't have a lot of time to socialize. In my free time, I'm often helping my mother at the house.
Don't ruin the mood. Just grab another one of the extras and take a rest.
Oh look, a falling star.
I see it. Boy, is that a bright one.
And yet there's no such thing as a falling star.
I stand corrected, a shooting star.
Why do you think humankind marvels at ignorance?
Same reason Mary's sweet on James Jr.
There are amazing streaks of light.
Seen only in the night sky, caused by tiny bits of dust and rock.
Meteors falling into Earth's atmosphere and burning up.
130 kilometers, give or take, per second.
Or 291,000 miles per hour.
But we learn them as shooting stars. Marion calling them meteors takes the poetry out of it, the mystery.
Same way Jim Crow takes the poetry out of our childhood.
Must we talk about the ugliness of Jim Crow's racism alongside the beauty of the stars and the universe?
Can't escape what's down here staring us in the face each time we try to get ahead, reminding us that we are black and therefore different.
Because someone makes a law doesn't make it right. I'm just as smart as any white girl my age, darn right brighter, but the law tells me that I can't attend a school to get a certificate that I need in order to advance.
Excuse me, miss. Your test scores came back and they are the highest our district has ever seen.
I didn't really expect you to be...
Colored, sir. Is that what you mean?
Well, yes, ma'am.
Sorry to disappoint, but I am indeed colored. A beauty secret from my granny. I use brown Crayola each morning to wash my face. It protects me from the sun.
Whose people are you from?
None other but those unnamed but pioneering women we look up to. Those well behind the Sojourner Truths and Harriet Tubmans.
The Euphemia Hayes and Barbara Williams, the first black female PhD scholars in math and astronomy.
The Jane Rollins and Charlotte Rays, the first black New York bar member and Yale Law School graduate.
The economics PhD, Sadie Tanner Alexander.
The botanist Charlotte Brooks and chemist Angie Turner King.
The first black publisher in North America, Mary Ann Shade Carey. And the educator and abolitionist, Sarah Mapps Douglas.
And Charlotte Fortin, the first northern black teacher to go south to teach farmer students.
Those that inspire us at times like these. The ones that woke up at daybreak before anyone else to clean and cook and prepare the household only to leave before their own children were awake. Walk miles across town on foot, sir, to care for another woman's children, scrubbing toilets, carrying dirt and grime beneath her nails as she arrives back home well past sunset, sweaty and exhausted and sometimes out of herself, but never mind telling that sad story to no one but herself. She stays up late studying numbers and calculations, not because she had to, but because she wanted to. Because she was fascinated by the challenge of the equation, the ritual of the long-form math with slider ruler in hand. She'd doze off, leaving her work and readings on the table for her young ones to find. That'd be us, sir, then wake up in the morning to the same crooked routine that, despite what others may think, made her strong, built her backbone. Those are the people, the women we come from. Chemists and leprosy treatment specialists Rebecca Lee Crumpler and Alice Ball. Family friends, neighbors, aunties, and grandmothers. We are the descendants of those women. Don't try to look them up. They didn't often make any history books. Sir.
And you, are you the daughter of Mr. Horn Sr.?
Why, yes, sir, I am.
What a fine father you have, a brilliant man. You owe a great deal of your genius to him.
One would think, and yes, my father is a great man. But truthfully, sir, my mother is the gem of knowledge in our household. She holds the 3 degrees to my father's and 1.
Can't believe no one bothers us on this beach.
What do you mean?
Well, beaches are still segregated, you know. Just surprised we never have any trouble.
We're not just anybody. Folks, we are special. They respect girls like us.
Girls like us.
Ones that go to special training schools to get degrees to work at university one day.
That is not fair. What about all the people that can't? Even though we only pay a small tuition, I know kids whose parents can't even afford that.
It's different for you, Annie, because you only have one mom at home and no father.
Don't say it like that! My mom does enough to be a mother and a father.
Take it back, Christine. I don't like this kind of talk. Seems to me we are just ordinary girls that have a chance to get proper schooling. No need to put others beneath our feet to make us feel good.
Just because your family has money, that gives you no right to say things like that, Christine.
Yeah, take it back. That wasn't proper.
Look who's talking. The one who showed up with no towel or anything proper to the beach.
Take it back, or else.
I will not. I didn't do anything.
Mary gathers her things and run out.
I've got to go. I forgot my grandmother needed me to help out.
Why we have to do that?
The other girls leave. Annie and Mary are left cleaning up the remaining fruit bags.
I'll see you on Sunday after church, Annie.
Yes, after supper, I'll head over to your house.
If you can come a little after that and bring yarn, you can help my mother and I knit socks and such for the war soldiers.
To be honest, Miriam, I've never been that great at knitting. I only do it when I have you.
You can't tell me a few extra pennies would be nice.
Well, sure, but wouldn't you rather swim at the beach? There's only so many hours in the day. To spend them knitting socks for soldiers fighting a war I can barely understand just seems silly.
They're over there fighting and dying for us.
They are over there fighting, yes. I'm not so sure it's for us.
Don't act like you're better than them, Annie.
Didn't say I was better than them.
Sure sounded judgy.
My mother said it's easier to follow than lead, and that's why we have so many followers versus leaders these days.
Sounds like the elders at church. My brother's over there fighting that war, you know.
I'm so sorry, Miriam. I didn't mean it like that.
I know you didn't.
It's just that all anybody talks about anymore is the war. World War II, can't even stand the sound of it. The drafted, the wounded, the veterans, the costs, the jobs we girls could have been because of the war. Nursing or sewing or tending to the needy. Don't they think we want more than that? I mean, didn't it ever cross their minds that some of us maybe weren't born to be followers?
Only if you swear to kill me after.
Sometimes I pretend I don't live on Earth.
Sometimes I dream about who I'm going to be when I grow up.
Like I'm a million of light years away, you know?
It's not a person, I imagine, more like an image.
And this is gonna sound crazy, but I'm not human. I'm some kind of ball of light.
Like a supernatural?
No! Well, maybe. More like a superwoman.
I think about what I was meant to be.
I'm liquid and transparent, but full of momentum and energy, like a million protons.
My grandmother always says, God gave us all one very special talent.
Know your talent. Something bigger than me. And this moment we're living in now.
I dream that one day I'll be part of making history.
That people will read about me in a book and say that young woman did something good.
And then I laugh and think, I'm just being silly.
But you're not being silly.
Really?
Answer this. How do you know what you know?
Just no.
Scene 11. Home, Mary and Gran. Mary enters home and attempts to rush by Big Gran, who is folding clothes. She is not happy that Mary broke their Friday baking ritual.
Waited for you 2 hours. If you had other plans, a simple note would have helped.
I'm so sorry. Time got away.
Relationships are just like food. Mary, you get out of them what you put in them. I was washing your uniform last week and saw a whole heap of dirt on it. You going to tell me what happened, or do I have to speculate?
Would rather just forget about it.
That's what the world would have you do. But in this house, we talk it out. So good old Gran knows that everything is all right.
Nothing's all right in the world that says one man is better than another just because of skin color. I can't sleep at night because I don't know if my daddy is going to make it back home safe or if something bad is going to happen to him. And nobody wants to talk about it. Rather just retain it away.
Take a deep breath, child. Nobody's pretending. Just know that there's no issue in worrying.
Those boys on those bikes almost ran us over on Macon Road. Called us out our names and laughed at us. It was horrible.
Ordinarily, I'd say I told you let me walk that road with you. But you gotta grow up sometime. What's important is that no harm was brought to you girls. I just thank Jesus for that.
Grace, Grandma, Susan, and Melanie. Scene 12, Phoenix Training School.
Thank you for your encouragement, Miss Strand, but I decided not to submit the application.
I'm going to have to ask you to think the decision through a bit more, Miriam. Your comprehension far exceeds most standards.
No disrespect, ma'am, but with the war and all, my parents need me at home right now.
But Miriam, with your scores, you stand a very high chance. Do you know how many doors could be opened to you?
I do, and I've thought it through from top to bottom. Not right now.
Well, I must say that, well, I am very disappointed to hear that. Miriam, I do understand. Annie, is there a reason you're wearing trousers to school when you know the dress code for girls?
Well, ma'am, I figured it was an old, outdated rule since their times are changing and thought, well, maybe some of us are a little more progressive.
I see. The rules are the rules. We are not here to erase them. Make sure this doesn't happen again.
The teacher steps out of the class. Christine taps Mary's desk and walks up to the blackboard. She writes a complicated equation on the board. It is a challenge. It begins playfully, then accelerates. Other students notice after some time.
For how many integers n with n less than 500 can a polynomial p n x equal times 6 plus n be written as a product of two non-constant polynomials with interior coefficients?
Mary notices, hesitates, then rises slowly to accept the challenge. Crosses to the board and instead writes an upside-down smiley face. The class erupts in laughter. The teacher returns, hears laughter, and hangs in the hallway observing. Mary attempts to sit.
Oh, I guess this one's way over your head, Mary.
Mary could do this equation in her sleep.
We all could. But how about this one? If a pilot keeps the nose of its plane moving along straight a line, how long will it take for the back wheels to hit that line?
Technically, it'll take forever. Infinity.
Let's see who can prove it before Miss Strand gets back.
Both hesitate, then go at it with momentum. Teacher steps in to witness. Eventually, Christine gives up. Frustration and tosses her chalk. Mary completes the complicated math. Students and Christine in awe. Final answer plus elaborate illustrations accompany. Students gasp. Teacher enters clapping.
Well, well, maybe I should leave the room more often. Mary, can you come back up here for a moment?
It was my fault, Miss Strand. I'm sorry.
Nobody's fault when there is learning involved, Christine. I just want to understand what we are looking at here.
Well, I sort of kind of challenged Mary to solve how many integers n with n less than 500 could a polynomial p n x equal times 6 plus n when it's a product of two non-constant polynomials with interior coefficients.
We were all just exercising some of the basic math strategies you have been doing such a great job of teaching us, Miss Strand.
Why, thank you, Annie. I see that plainly.
And later, Mary,
Why don't we hear from Mary about this final challenge here?
Well, I broke down the equation into 3 simpler parts.
Go on.
Well, first, you need to account for the angles to establish solid equations as a foundation. This is the part that usually trips people up, I think. After that, you integrate, and you've got to split the constant off the exponent, which then allows you to fast-track the math and arrive at this conclusion. My grandmother always taught me that if you have a mountain to climb, break it up into 3 equal parts, and that way it is much easier for even a child to climb.
Smart strategy. Can this trick be used in algebra, geometry, and calculus class?
Like anything, it all depends on the application.
I'm sorry, Miss Strand. We were just...
Well, talk more about it.
Ring, bell rings.
Assignment for tomorrow. Explain how long it will take the tail to get within 0.1 meters of the line, based on Mary's proof or your own. Mary, can I speak with you?
I know we weren't supposed to ride on your board. We didn't mean...
Slow down, Mary.
I'm so sorry, Miss Strand.
You're not sorry, Mary. You're smart. In fact, you're brilliant. The way you think about math and mental arithmetic is inspiring. Your ability to chop it into little, tiny, digestible parts helps others see that it can be as simple and complex at the same time. The truth is, most of you girls have this ability because we think, work, and live in numbers. You have something worth holding on to, Mary, and I'm glad your parents sent in your application.
Wait, what, they did?
Yes. The Generation Excellence Program is for the gifted mathematician and could lead to a career in space or teaching, depending on your interests. You should hear back soon.
I don't know what to think about all this. I thought my mom needed me at...
Well, just say you'll go if you're accepted.
You don't understand, ma'am.
What's that?
Nothing. Thank you, Miss Strand. I really, really appreciate this.
You have a very bright future, Mary, if you want it.
Mary is left alone in the vast open space with that thought, that question. Christine and Annie are outside the class.
Competition is not everything, you know.
Why do you always have to be smart, Mary? Clearly, you're just as smart as the rest of us, if not smarter.
I don't appreciate the way you do things. Maybe we should just stay away from each other. My grandma told me that good people attract good people. And
Are you trying to say that I'm a bad person?
my grandmother says insecure girls always have a chip on their shoulders. Says they don't like it when others exceed around them.
Look, I was just challenging you because I knew you have it. Stop being so sensitive.
Grow up, Mary.
I will, Christine. And while I'm at it, why don't you try growing up too? Have you ever thought that picking on people just because they're new might not be so nice? Or maybe that you'd have a little more friends if you backed up a little. Friends, you don't know what others are dealing with. Do you even care that Miriam's brother is in the war or that Annie's mother is scraping to get by? And Catherine's family is living between cities, driving all those miles just so that she can attend this school. And me, that my dad is away trying to do some good in the world, but there are a lot of people that don't agree. He might possibly be in danger and may never make it home safely. Wake up! The world doesn't revolve around you.
She runs off.
Autograph.
A rotorcraft with unpowered blades that develop lift.
And an engine-powered propeller to provide thrust.
Roll.
Rotation of an axis, aligned with the direction in which the aircraft is flying.
Also known as the longitudinal axis.
Crab?
A maneuver used to contract drift and caused by crossing it.
CAT. Cat.
Too easy.
They exit.
Really? I thought that was a good one.
Scene 13, Mary's house. Teacher visit. Mama and Gran are in the kitchen cooking. A knock at the door in the middle of the day.
May I help you?
Is this the home of Mary Jackson?
Well, yes it is, ma'am.
I'm Mary's court teacher at Phoenix, Mrs. Strand. Are you Mary's mother?
I'll accept that kind compliment, but I'm the grandmother. Why don't you come in? I'll fetch Ella. What do you say your name is again?
Miss Strand.
Ella! Miss Strand is here to see you!
Hello, ma'am.
She's from Mary's school, her teacher.
Hello.
Fine day to you.
Is there something wrong with Mary?
Oh, no, not at all. In fact, everything is right about Mary. Clearly, I'm not telling you anything you don't know, but Mary's pre-test scores came back, and she is quite the exceptional student, Miss Jackson.
Call me Ella.
And do call me Big Gran.
Will do. I have the wonderful privilege to teach your daughter, and it's not often that a student like Mary comes through.
Hold on. I'm sorry, but you came all the way across town to tell me Mary is a smart student? I have no intention to offend, but that's just common practice in this family. You do your work and make good grades. That's a given.
Ever since she was this high, she's been bright.
I'm not just talking smart, Miss Jackson.
Ella?
Yes, Ella. Well, her results show that Mary has an extraordinary ability to make sense of science and complicated mathematics, more so in a way than I have rarely seen. It must come so easy to her, effortless. The other day I overheard her say she learned if you have to climb a mountain, best to break it down into 3 parts. Yes, exactly. She's able to simplify the most confusing algorithms and polyrhythms by making them make plain sense.
I'm sorry. I don't know where this is going.
Oh, look at me, getting all excited. I guess I wanted to stop by and just impress on you how important that application was to West Virginia State University for the space program. And to thank you, I believe she really stands an excellent chance.
That application?
Yes, the application you sent back. We should know very soon, and I can come over here personally to walk you through what it would mean if she gets accepted.
Would you look at the time? Well, thank you, Miss Strand. We will be sure to tell Mary all about it.
Here's my information if you have any questions.
You know, I wouldn't be able to afford tuition.
The Generation Excellence Space Program pays for itself. She wouldn't have to come out of pocket for anything.
Not a penny.
Thank you, Miss Strand. I appreciate you coming all this way to clear things up about that application.
Oh, don't mention it. Like I told Mary, her future is bright.
Yes, it is indeed.
Good day to you both.
Good day. Well,
It's not what you think.
sounds like my signature magically appeared on an application that I can't receive ever signing.
I told you, that girl's something special. Now her teachers see it too. It's just a matter of time until...
Until what, Ma? I need Mary around the house to help me. Your health isn't what it used to be, and with this war, I'm working even longer hours.
You heard what that teacher said, didn't you? Tell me you heard it.
Of course I
Did you hear that? That child could be she could become something we never imagined. I can feel it, Ella. We just have to move aside and let the universe do its magic.
Scene 14, home, kitchen. Next morning before school, Ella and Big Grand are in the kitchen. Mary rushes in late with school bag. Big Grand feels the temperature change and eases out of the kitchen, stays close to listen. Ella prepares breakfast for Mary, places a cup of juice in front of her. Mary crosses to the refrigerator and gets a cup of milk, grabs a piece of toast.
I can make you some oatmeal to go with.
No, thank you, ma'am. No, thank you, ma'am.
Mary.
You don't have to explain, Mother. I know my teacher came by the house. She likely talked your ear off about how she thinks I'm something special, and that my future is so bright it's blinding. I know you probably don't believe that, and maybe I'm not special. Maybe I'm like any other math weirdo that fell in love with numbers when I was a kid. Maybe I am just ordinary. Or maybe a dreamer that just wants to try something new out and maybe just stumble onto something beyond cooking or cleaning for other people. When was that ever a crime? I'm smarter than the average boy, this I know. I want to do big things for my community, like Dad. Help our kind of people rise up. Isn't that what you've taught me my whole life?
Races out.
Mary, wait!
Scene 15, dirt road. Miriam and Mary walk on dirt road on their way to school.
Next time you late, you gonna have to pay me a quarter.
A quarter for every time I'm late times 150 days left in this school calendar would make you how many dollars rich?
50 cents short of $38, Rich.
Wrong.
Right! Saw tears in your eyes. You okay?
Thanks. I'll be fine. Don't seem to see eye to eye with my mother, that's all. Sometimes I wish I could be the parent, that she could live a day in my shoes.
She already has. Things are just different now. Her day was nothing like ours. At least you don't have to drop out of school to help with the war effort.
Heard what you told Miss Strand, deciding not to apply to the space program. Your decision or your mom's?
Mine. She would never hold me back on purpose.
Wish I could say the same.
Christine and Catherine walk home from school.
See that tree over there?
The big oak?
Yeah, its leaves change color during the autumn because of its amounts of pigments. It happens when the leaves prepare to fall from the trees. Did you know that all the leaves gradually lose during the chlorophyll during the growing season? Did you know that?
Of course I did. Why do you know so much about color?
I know. I just love nature, and nature has color. Color tells us a lot about the world and why it changes.
So, when the leaves lose chlorophyll, the plants absorb nitrogen, and that changes the pigment molecule.
When a tree loses its leaves, the leaves are not dying, they are allowing the tree to live, and they always come back.
I wish that worked the same for people. I wish my mother didn't have to die so young, but could come back like these leaves every spring, even if it's just for a day. I'll be satisfied with that. Just one day.
My daddy taught me that if something's special to you and it's gone away, you can keep it in your heart by counting the minutes it's spent out of your reach. Every day she's been gone, keep the minute in your heart. That way, she'll always be with you, and you're sure to never be apart.
1,051,200 minutes.
Scene 16, on porch. Big Grand and Mary sit on the porch.
Now, is that the Big Dipper or the Little Dipper?
Oh, come on, Grand. I know you already know that.
Cheer up, little lady.
Why is she so hard on me?
Just want what's best for you. Everybody's got their own unique way of mothering.
There's more than one way to be successful, and the future holds a million possibilities.
Who you telling? What do you see when you look there, in between those two brightest stars?
I see
twinkling little lights, ready to explode over the heads of little girls like you.
You do not.
Who you kidding? Folks might call me crazy, but I can see what others don't take the time to see. Clear as day. Look there. Humans flying in aircrafts to the moon. Women, brown women, as scientists and chemists and even astronauts one day. Call it magic or call it clarity, I can see it. Plain as day. So, don't be so hard on her. She loves you, you know. Oh, this arrived today. A letter from your father.
Exits to the kitchen. Mary anxiously runs to her room. Scene 17, house, Mary's room. Mary quickly throws on PJs and sits on bed reading letter.
Mary, it's your father. Your letter warmed my heart. You have great ideas, but I must insist that for your safety, this is no place for you right now. Promise me that you will stay home. I will be back soon. Love, Daddy.
take them apart and rebuild them in seconds. See, Ma, that's my rocket making it to the moon. This one, that's my rocket landing back home. Bigger than life you were, Mary. But there is just so much ugly in this world. The kind that can stop a young woman like you from achieving her dreams. I never told you this, but I was offered a scholarship too. I was your age, and I thought my place was at home. But I was scared of the world, scared of hate, I guess. I'll never forget the day my father begged the store owner to let me use the toilet after church one afternoon, dressed up in my Sunday's best. I was just 7 years old that day. And as we stood outside that closed door, as the storekeeper shook his head no, that white's only sign dangling above us as warm liquid trickled down my legs. I'll never forget the look of my daddy's face. Helpless. I guess I just didn't want to see you get hurt. I was so determined to protect you that I ended up hurting you anyway.
Lights out.
Lights out.
Ma, it's possible, you know.
What's that, Mary?
Reaching the stars, blasting out of here on rockets into space. We are smarter than we know.
Sleep, my child.
They say children aren't allowed to dream.
I say that's all we do is dream.
What if
What if I help put a man on the moon one day?
Imagine that.
What if I became the first black engineer?
imagine that?
What
if I developed data working with wind tunnels?
and analyze data on aircraft flight experiments?
They say girls aren't so great at numbers.
I say, show me an equation I can't solve, and I'll give you a name.
What if someone like me?
Or me.
Or we were responsible for making aeronautical history.
What kind of history?
Aeronautical, the study of aviation, flight, and space, silly.
Yeah, imagine that.
Scene 18, girls' bedroom.
Aren't you supposed to be asleep, little missy? Can't sleep. Can't sleep or won't sleep. Too many things running through my mind. My mom's looking for a better job. Always worrying, just like her. Good news though. Some students from the university have come over to tutor. I sign up for 5 extra days a week of extra learning in all my core classes and have read every book available in the library on checkout. Almost 30 books so far. Come tomorrow. Determined to make something of yourself, huh? Just hungry to learn. Anything I can get my hands on to study. Gonna surprise my mom by getting 100% high marks. At the end, I'm going, teachers say I might be able to skip a grade forward. Oh yeah? Don't forget about the little people when you make it. I love one of those doll rocking chairs with the squishy pillow. We'll see. What kind of answer is that?
I heard you the first time. You want to know a secret? Of course, I love secrets. Promise not to tell, or I'll poke your eyes out. What a mean thing to say. I pinky swear. On my way home from school, I stopped in the old man Sam's corner store, and what do you know? No one was around. I walked right past that colored entrance sign and right into the whites only. Picked out my 2 pieces of bubble gum and left my nickel. Ooh, you're gonna get into some big trouble and you know it. You said you wouldn't tell. My lips are sealed.
Did you know that Mom or Dad are thinking about moving? I know everyone around here. I hear when they're sleeping, I hear them talking, worrying, dreaming. They want to move to the other part of town so us children have a good and a better shot at getting into a good school. Let me guess. You don't want to leave your friends. Don't say say it like that. Like what? It's hard enough being the only girl in this family, much less moving into another neighborhood, and who knows what kind of blacks and whites will be there. Always reinventing myself, tired of the routine. Don't be selfish. You're doing it for you. And all you can think about is friends. Want to know the secret?
I'll send you over here so you can rest where I'm going. Go on. But we're a team. We've been pals your whole life, and a good friend you've been. Your best friend. That's right. But growing up means letting go of some things to make space for others. When you leave for university, will you find a cozy place for me on your favorite shelf? You're my friend. When no one else wanted to be. The one I told my secrets to. I'm gonna miss you. I'll find a cozy place for you. Sure. But more importantly, I'll keep a place for you in my heart. Always.
C19, Dirt Road. They play a physical word tag.
Tag, you ready?
Go.
Thrust.
The force on the jet engine system generated when its accelerated mass.
Kaboo?
Ceiling invisibility unlimited. CAVU.
ELT.
Too easy.
Okay, what about fin?
The fixed part of a vertical airfoil that controls the yaw of an aircraft.
Also known as
The vertical stabilizer.
Scene 20. Final class. Miss Strand stands in front of the class. Mary walks in and students all clap.
Come on in, Mary. We have a surprise for you.
To our dear Mary, this certificate is an acknowledgement of your acceptance to West Virginia State University. It is in recognition of your high aptitude and probability that you will be a star student in the Generation Excellence Program that is now in partnership with the National Advisory Committee on Aeronautics. All fees are hereby paid and your admittance is duly noted.
I knew you would get it. And I will be even happier if you accept. I'd be honored to mentor you if you'll have me. Oh, we are so proud of you, Mary. All of us.
I'm really no smarter than any of these girls here. I mean, everyone knows that. Catherine knows everything there is to know about space. And Christine is an ace with hard numbers. And no one with half a mind would go up against Miriam and her slide ruler. I don't know what to say.
Just say
Wow.
that you'll make us proud. We are right here behind you.
That I can do.
As your teacher, a big part of my job, in addition to teaching math and science, is to prepare you all for the next part of your journey. As learners, as potential scholars, as leaders, to remind you that there were women and girls like you who risked their lives so we can have the freedoms we have. As you grow up and take off in 100 different directions of greatness, let you not forget about your own responsibility to make a part of the road a little less rocky for those coming behind you.
I'll do my part, Miss Strand.
Me too. And count me in.
Us too.
Class, I think she deserves a big round of applause from all of her fans.
Epilogue. Split scene. In silhouette and profiles, we see or hear the girls as young adults in various mentoring scenarios.
If I said I set out to make history, I would be telling a bit of a lie. I just fell in love with numbers. That's what led me to math. I'm an African American woman in almost all male and white workforces, a best-selling book, and countless interviews, and several landings to my credit. I tell young people that simply following your passion can open doors quicker than anything else. I'm Captain Johnson.
I love speaking with middle schoolers because that's when I discovered arithmetic. and pretty much the age that I thought it would be terrific to be a scientist. I remember some snaggletooth boy saying, "Girls aren't scientists," and that pretty much did it for me. I was gonna prove him wrong, and boy, did I. My most famous work was on a Centaur rocket, the first of its kind. Only wish my mother was here to see it all. I'm Annie Easley.
I was shy growing up. Then I grew back up. I was fascinated by fire, temperature, and light. Chemistry was something I was pretty good at, but a teacher saw something in me, and it helped me to see myself. I've worked for years softening the shock from sonic booms, reducing the flight from time from the East Coast to the West Coast. Not bad for a girl. Huh? Not bad at all. I'm Christine Jordan.
All my life, I didn't think I was any kind of genius. Women all around me were smart. Why? Because we were given a chance to pursue things we loved, to study at historically black schools. I thought I'd work as a computer, only as long as the war effort required me to. But the war has come and gone. Who would have thought that my work would have put a black woman on the moon years later? Mae Jemison, our sweat was for you, and for all the other astronauts that will come after you. The title of my speech is my biggest lesson in life. Never take no for an answer. I'm Miriam Min.
Early 2000 retirement, the actor playing Mary's mom plays Mary in her 60s. The actor playing Graham plays Mary's mother, Ella, in her 80s.
It's hard to imagine I'm in my 60s. My heartbeat was the first connection to numbers I had. My friends and I would make up little dances with counts and moves. It was somehow always a part of me, I guess. Early on, I was afraid to say I was smart because little colored girls like me were taught to play small, to be invisible in a room of men. Well, I got tired of that. In the 1950s, I very well may have been the only black female aeronautical engineer in the field. But I didn't go at it alone. My peers and the fearless black computers that stood strong in the face of adversity, we did it together. We helped launch rockets and humans into space. Imagine that. My name is Mary Winston Jackson. I'm an engineer. My hope is that ordinary girls like me know they too can create history.
Follow the drinking gourd.
Follow the drinking gourd.
For the old man is waiting to carry you to freedom. Follow the drinking gourd.
Twinkling dots scattered across the night sky, their luminous spheres breadcrumbs leading home or north or to the outer ends of space, where small brown girls' hands hold straight-edged rulers and toss numbers like they tossed rice in metal strainers for grandma. Paths that led men to the moon and back, that build tiny colored empires of greatness. What if they had never existed, never dared to do the impossible? Just like the stars, the universe would be absent without them.